A motion to play the UTEP fight song.
Call this meeting to order at 6:12 p.m. Senate Secretary, please proceed to a roll call.
President Edgar Loya,
Present.
DPI Jay Miramontes,
Present.
DPI Alvarez, Executive Assistant Alexis Navarro,
Present.
Senator Perez,
Present.
Senator Strickland,
Present.
Senator James Paul Duran,
Present.
Senator Ramirez,
Present.
Senator Alvarado,
Present.
Senator Borrell,
Present.
Senator Borrego,
Present.
Senator Berthold, present. Senator Chasho,
Present.
Senator Gutierrez,
Present.
Senator Guerrero,
Present.
Senator Lechuga,
Present.
Senator Morales,
Present.
Senator Mota,
Present.
Senator Ochoa,
Present.
Senator Rodriguez,
Present.
Senator Solis,
Present.
Senator Zuniga,
Present.
Thank you, Senate Secretary. Please proceed to review last week's minutes. Senator Berthold.
I motion to approve last week's minutes and bother for grammatical errors.
We got a motion on the floor to approve last week's minutes. Senator Benavides.
I second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to approve last week's minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say nay. Any abstentions? All right, last week's minutes are passed. Senate Secretary, will you please proceed to review this week's agenda? Alvarado.
I motion to approve the minutes of the meeting.
We got a motion on the floor to approve this week's agenda. Senator Mota. All right, we got a motion and a second to approve this week's agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say nay. Any abstentions? This week's agenda is passed. Moving forward with the first point of business. Yeah, we're going to introduce our guests tonight. We have President Wilson joining us. And I believe you have some excellers here present. If you guys would mind standing up and just quickly introducing yourselves.
Good afternoon. My name is Paula Martinez. I'm a major in political science and a minor in legal research.
My name is Emilio Chaparro. I'm a criminal justice major with public administration minor.
I'm Ana Sofia Chavarria, and I'm a biochemistry major.
Hi, I'm Tatiana Velasquez. I'm a major in psychology and a double minor in chemistry and biology.
Hi, my name is Jimena Huarte and I'm majoring in music.
Hi, my name is Diego Triana, and I'm a management major with a CIS minor.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. All right, moving on to our first point of business. Under new business, bill number 16. Senator Gutierrez, the floor is yours.
Executive Betsy San, can you please read the title? Yes. Bill number 16, a bill to appropriate the sum of $450 to help defray expenses of sending 3 students to attend the SHIP National Convention scheduled from October 29th through November 3rd in Anaheim, California.
Okay, so in this bills include Senator Perez, VPI Miramontes, and Mr. Campos is a student here at UTEP. The three of them are the electrical engineering department. As we know, SHIP is a national convention and is the biggest gathering of Hispanics in STEM. And that's it for my part.
Any questions for the bill? Or just to get some feedback on this one, this is a bill for the CHIP conference. And then just for some info, the reason this is separate from the initial bill that was passed from CHIP is because the students going on the trip, including myself, are not affiliated with the CHIP organization here at UTEP. So since the funding that was given to them will not go to us, we wrote this bill, and I believe there's some other bills similar to this one coming in next week. As Maldonado.
I motion to appropriate the sum of $450 to bill number 16.
All right, we got a motion on the floor to appropriate the sum of $450 to bill number 16. Senator Chacho.
A second.
All right, we got a motion and a second to appropriate the sum of $450 to bill number 16. I will now open the floor for discussion.
Is anyone
So
really
why didn't you do the same bill with next week? Like you said, there's another bill next week? The same, similar, is it the same?
I believe it's similar, it's just the departments are different. So next week's, I believe, is from industrial, Department of Industrial Engineering. And since this is electrical engineering, it was split into two different bills.
They're all the same conference for the three bills that are
Yes.
passed?
Senator Joshua.
Motion to call the question?
We call to question. So we have a motion and a second to appropriate the sum of $450 to bill number 16. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say nay. Any abstentions? All right, we hereby appropriate the amount of $450 to bill number 16. Moving on to our next point of business, under new business appointments, Senator Burkhoff, floor is yours.
Can I get my two legislative assistants to stand, please, and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Alexandra. My major is nursing. I have an associate degree in biological sciences, and I'm happy to be here with you.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Lascano. I'm an English major with a minor in education, and glad to be here.
So we're going to do this a little bit different than last week. We're going to appoint them both at the same time, and we'll be voting on them separately, I believe, but same appointment at the same time. And I'm going to pass this to Senator Gutierrez to please speak on this.
Yes, Ali. So she has an extrovert personality. She knows how SGA works because she used to be in SGA EPCC. She knows how to work as a team. She knows a lot of great communication skills and have a lot of experience as a leader.
I'd also like to point out, I believe that she's already going to be paired with Ileana, Senator Ramirez. So glad that she's appointed them, sending the email out to assign them to each other. A little bit about John Thomas. He likes to go by JT, so that's what I'm going to refer to him as. JT was a student council member in high school. He was the treasurer and vice president at the time. He is also a manager. He was a manager, my bad, at like a funeral home, and so he has managerial experience. And then also one thing I like to point out is that he's an English major, so he's very great at writing. It's just something that he's very passionate about, and so I believe that JT can definitely help one of the senators with their writing and their bills and stuff like that. And then at this time, we go into questions from the Senate.
Any questions from the senators?
These are the questions directly to the appointees themselves.
Senator Rodriguez.
Yeah, what goals do you guys have with SGA?
First, yeah. What goals? For me, I find SGA just something to be a part of and be a part of something that contributes and makes changes and improvements. So I would say just to be a part of SGA, to be a part of something that makes improvements, I would say.
For mine, I think SGA is something that is everyone's student on campus needs to know what is it and what you do in order to improve their college life here. So that would be like my primary goal, to help the students around campus and being active here. I think that would be a good thing to start doing that.
Any other questions from the Senate? Senator Rodriguez?
Are you guys willing to work with any senator? Or do you have like a certain minor, major in mind?
So, JT will be open, after his appointment goes through, but we're going to go ahead and assign her to Ileana. Well, I'll talk more about that in the SARC update here soon.
Any other questions from the Senate? Would the Senate like to go into discussion? If not, we can proceed with appointments if you'd like to motion for something. Senator Burkhardt?
I would like to appoint legislative assistant, how do you say your name? Apologies. Isan, and JT to legislative assistant.
All right. We have a motion on the floor to appoint Gisali Hernandez as legislative assistant and John Thomas Cano. Senator Albright?
A second.
All right. We got a motion and a second to appoint Gisali Hernandez as legislative assistant and John Thomas Cano. Senate Secretary, please proceed to a roll call vote. This first roll call vote will be to appoint Gisali Hernandez as legislative assistant.
Senator Perez,
Yes.
Senator Strickland,
Yes.
Senator Duran,
Yes.
Senator Ramirez,
Yes.
Senator Alvarado,
Yes.
Senator Boatright,
Yes.
Senator Borrego,
Yes.
Senator Burkhardt,
Yes.
Senator Chasho,
Yes.
Senator Gutierrez,
Yes.
Senator Guerrero,
Yes.
Senator Lechuga, Senator Morales,
Yes.
Senator Mota,
Yes.
Senator Ochoa,
Yes.
Senator Rodriguez,
Yes.
Senator Solis,
Yes.
Senator Zuniga.
Yes.
Through a 2/3 majority vote by the Senate, we hereby appoint Gisali Hernandez as legislative assistant. We'll now proceed to a roll call vote to appoint John Thomas Cano as legislative assistant. Senate Secretary?
Senator Perez,
Yes.
Senator Strickland,
Yes.
Senator Duran,
Yes.
Senator Ramirez,
Yes.
Senator Alvarado,
Yes.
Senator Boatright,
Yes.
Senator Borrego,
Yes.
Senator Burkhardt,
Yes.
Senator Chasho,
Yes.
Senator Gutierrez,
Yes.
Senator Guerrero,
Yes.
Senator Lechuga,
Yes.
Senator Morales,
Yes.
Senator Mota,
Yes.
Senator Ochoa,
Yes.
Senator Rodriguez,
Yes.
Senator Solis,
Yes.
Senator Zuniga.
Yes.
Through a 2/3 majority vote by the Senate, we hereby appoint John Thomas Cano as legislative assistant. Moving forward with our next point of business, under new business, President Wilson address to the Senate.
Can you all hear me? Does that work? Yeah. Okay. I apologize for being a little bit late. I've got Student Government Association. zoom on over to the union. And then I looked at my schedule and it's all the way back there. So I apologize for being a little bit late. I wanted to update you a little bit on matters related to the state legislative session that will start in January, particularly related to the student union and the vote you all have had. And then open it to any questions that you may have of me. So questions on anything. But I thought maybe I'd take some time to do a quick update. Starting out with the student union and the student union vote. We have started outreach to the delegation. So the way this works in Texas is that it does require a vote of the state legislature, both houses, and we can anticipate that there may be a hearing as well. It doesn't require the signature of the governor, interestingly, but it does require a standalone vote in each of the houses. So we started to work with our local delegation here to start to make that happen. Each member of our delegation has been contacted by our deputy chief of staff for the university, who is in charge of governmental affairs. Dean Katie has been working with him to set up briefings for their staff. I met yesterday with Edgar, who will stay in touch and so forth on this. Representative Joe Lee has been personally briefed, and he has agreed to carry the bill in the House, which will be, I think, very good. He's a good leader. Senator Blunt's office's staff has also been agreed. They're reviewing the request to carry the bill on the Senate side, but they have asked Legislative Council to do a draft. So they're starting to draft the bill. Historically, what has happened with some of these other bills where it requires approval of the legislature is it passes. Dallas did one of these in UT Dallas did one in 2023. It passed the House, and then the Senate just picked up that House bill and passed it in the Senate rather than having two bills. So that may be what happens in this case, and we're preparing Senator Blunt and his staff for that possibility. We did also meet Representative Gonzalez's staff. Representative Ordaz will have a personal briefing that's scheduled for the 15th of November. So all of that is moving forward. So it does require that standalone bill. The legislature, the work on the bill will actually begin probably on November 11th. So they get through the elections, and then they will start on filing on November 11th. So that will start there, and Representative Moody has said that he's going to file on the House side. The next legislative session begins on the 14th of January. Just to give a kind of sense of timing, when UT Dallas passed something similar in 2023, there was a House hearing in March, late March. The bill passed in mid-April in the House. The Senate held a hearing in May. There was an extended session, and then there was Senate passage on May 17th. So that's probably a reasonable expectation for a timeline on something like this. I will continue we have somebody whose full-time job is government relations with the state legislature. Dustin Meador, he's in touch with Edgar. We will work with you all. If there's a request for testimony, it seems to be more appropriate rather than having Ego testify to ask the Student Government Association to testify at the state legislature in Austin. Our office will help to try to make that happen. Okay. So I think that's kind of where we are with respect to next steps on the union, because we've got to get that passed. With respect to the student success building that is also on the agenda for the legislature, we have that's going to require a passage of what's called the Capital Construction Assistance Projects Bill, which is, they used to be called tuition revenue bonds, but it's the way the state appropriates funds for facilities. We made a formal request in our legislative budget dollars for that building, and it's in something called the Legislative Appropriations Request, that the LAR, that the university puts in for our entire budget. Our Vice President for Business Affairs testified on that project before a panel of staff at the Capitol in September, and they had no questions on the project. So I think the real question is, does the legislature take up capital requests for state agencies and universities this year? Several universities have put in requests, and historically, they have generally funded facilities every other legislative session. And this is one of the every other sessions. So there is a significant possibility that 2025 will be the time when they appropriate facilities funds. The comptroller, who is Glenn Hagar, has projected, he's the one who tracks all the revenues, projects what state revenues might be. And he has projected a surplus of about $18 billion. That does bode well for capital requests. They will have funds to work with. So we will work very closely with the University of Texas System Government Relations Office. They have a very large team there, and we will support to try to track that request through to try to make sure that that gets funded if they do capital requests. Finally, I wanted to mention the status of the housing project. So the next steps in with respect to housing, we have sent forward an item for the regions, and the next step is what's called a request for qualifications for an architect. So the next step is we basically contract with an architect to take a look at designing housing. The projected location is on the north side of Kidd Field. We have some bleachers there that have kind of been condemned. So can we take those down and put a dorm there? It is a traditional dorm, so with an integrated meal plan. So it's not apartment living. It's more of a traditional dorm, close in enough to campus to make it easy for students to walk, but an integrated meal plan. We really don't have that kind of housing on campus, and there is demand for it. Housing again this fall is oversubscribed. We have a waiting list again, and this is the third year in a row that we've had a waiting list for housing. One of the real keys is it has to be cost effective. So we're going to work with the architect and the planners to say, all right, how can we build a dorm that is affordable for students? And that means we're not going to be building something that's intended to last. You know, if you walk down Hawthorne and look at the facilities there, those buildings are intended to last for 50 years. You know, a dorm is not necessarily built that way. It's built more like you build an apartment complex, and the construction should be lower per square foot. That's what we really got to move towards on this dorm, because it's got to be well designed, clean, well built, all of those things, but not really high-end construction, because it's got to be affordable for the students who are renting a place to live. So the anticipated completion of construction for the next new dorm, we're targeting July of 2028. We have to target this so it opens at the beginning of a fall semester. And we don't want it to be vacant for a significant time before students are ready to move in. So student occupancy would be targeted for August of 2028. That's the earliest they say they can really get this done. That it always bothers me that it would take that long, but that is what they're telling us for getting it all the way through design, bid, construction, and then occupancy. So that's where we are in the three major construction projects that we have underway. There's a heck of a lot of other stuff going on campus. What I'd like to do, if it's okay, is to open it up for a few questions, and then I know you've got other business to get onto tonight, so I'll get out of your way pretty quickly. But questions you have of me on anything, including the job description of the president includes rumor control. So, there's whatever you want to ask me. Anything interesting. Yes. Or you want to? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know we have a lot of projects going on with a lot of buildings. Do we have any updates on maybe parking or anything?
Yeah.
Light on parking.
Good question. So the master plan does include 2 new parking structures. One is intended to be over by the student union. We're really short of parking on that east side of campus. And right now, there's a parking lot associated with the Liberal Arts Building. Once Texas Western Hall is done, we will tear down the old Liberal Arts Building. We will restore the Arroyo and put gardens in there. But the master plan anticipates a parking structure, so we get more spaces in the same square footage there on the east side of campus. And on the north side of campus, when we put in the new housing, we know we're gonna need more parking in that neighborhood as well. And so it anticipates a parking structure, kind of, you know, where Memorial Gym and the Brumbelow building, there's a parking lot there south of that, or southwest of that intersection, probably a parking structure there. So those are the plans for parking at this point.
Senator Rodriguez?
Basically kind of the same question, but what about the shuttle? Are you guys working to get more shuttles, improve the shuttle system, especially the wait time currently?
Yeah.
At the dorms too, that's a big problem.
Let me take that one back. It's a discussion that we had not recently. Our biggest problem is hiring shuttle drivers. Yeah. Let me check and see, and when we meet next, we'll try to get an update from the folks at facilities and see if we've had any more luck in getting, hiring shuttle drivers and many more.
Maybe you could collaborate with the city too, maybe do something with the Sun Metro, do something with that.
Maybe, but they're probably as stretched as we are, and it's that circulator on campus. But let me check and we'll circle back on that one.
Thank you.
Sure.
Senator Boatright?
I know that earlier this year, the university had requested from our county commissioners to place on their bonds funding for improvements to Sunbolt.
Yeah.
There's still plans for that? Are you going to ask from the state legislature for that?
We're not going to ask the state legislature for that. I do think that this is a long, we made, we put the case together to show them that we think that it's an overall benefit to the city and to the county. The facility was originally built for us by the county. They didn't feel like they had room on the bond election this November to do it, but life was long. You all probably saw Coldplay is coming. Did anybody get tickets to go see Coldplay? They sold out the first night in like 40 minutes. They sold out the second night in another hour. We actually were trying to see if maybe they'd give us a third night because there's pretty clearly demand, although that's going to be tough. I think they're got plans in the next city. If you think about it, we should do more events like that, and use that facility to benefit the community in which we live, and to make, in addition to a lot of people from El Paso going to that, I think there are a lot of people who are coming in from out of town, and they'll buy gas and stay overnight and go out to dinner, and so it has a positive impact on the region in which we live. We need to do more of that, and then continue to plan with the county and ask for help to upgrade parts of the stadium so we can bring in even more things. There are a lot of acts that go right by us on I-10. We want to be more than a gas stop. We want to be the bus stop for some of these events. And it's such an iconic venue, and there just aren't many like it. But it's hard to get in and out of, and that means it takes longer to load and unload. That's a big deal for these acts. There's power limitations. That means if they need a generator for all the lights and whistles and stuff, that's $90,000 to rent a diesel generator for their show. To rent the cover, rather than having an integrated cover and storage, that's about a $300,000 expense. So all of that creates more cost and more risk for a promoter. So they're saying, okay, can I make a lot of money on this stuff, cover all the expenses? If we design so they can get in and out fast, they've got the power they need, there's an integrated cover, it starts to become we gotta stop there, right? And that's more opportunities. 10 years ago, we were doing about 6 events a year at Don Haskins, ticketed events, not our basketball games. This last year we did 34. And those events bring in money, which we then put directly back into facilities. But it also means there's always something great going on in El Paso, and we should do that. So we'll work long-term with the county to see where we are the next time we want to put a bond issue together. Just as comparison, one of the things that's on the bonds this time is money for the university, the UMC University Medical Center. They were initially turned down at 2.5 years ago, but it's on the bond this time. So lifelong.
Senator Chacho?
Yeah, so speaking of the basketball, I know this won't happen until 2026, but what's the outlook from the transition from going from Conference USA to Mountain West? And what is going to be like the major changes that we should expect?
Very good question. So Conference USA has gradually really shifted east, and we don't have some traditional rivalries there. It's really hard on students who are traveling to Delaware or Florida and stuff if you're a student athlete. And the fans have a lot of historic rivalries up and down the Rocky Mountains, Air Force, UNM, Wyoming, UNLV. So we think it's a better conference for us. Financially, it's also better. It's less expensive to travel to Wyoming than it is to go to Florida. So the costs are down. I didn't understand this when I started working on athletics issues, to be honest. But in 2021, we went through the last major conference of the alignment. Jim Center and I worked on this and looked at what are they looking for. A lot of it has to do with television contracts, and some of that has to do with time zones. So you think about it, if you look at a map of the universities, there's a lot of them in the East time zone. There's a lot of them in the Central time zone. There's not a lot in the Mountain West. And then there's a fair amount in the Pacific time zone. Television companies and ESPN are looking at when they do their programming. And if they don't have a lot of options on content, there is more revenue per game. So there's actually more revenue that we expect to come from the university by being in the Mountain West. In fact, it would probably be about 3 times the television revenue that we currently have in Conference USA. That's good. The competition is also a little steeper, so we've got to kind of up our game a little bit there. And we have there is a transition cost and a kind of a fee we have to pay to leave the leave Conference USA. But we have some wonderful leaders in this community who have been really keen for a long time to see this switch. And they have come in to help us financially so that we can make the transition. And we couldn't have done it without them.
Senator Mota?
I might have missed this, but are those parking lots going to be focused for students or faculty and staff?
They will be run just like we do all of the parking structures. My guess is that the one that's over by Warren will be large. That'll be in high demand from students. One that's where the liberal arts parking lot is, maybe a mixture. But there will be an expansion, and the parking does have to pay for itself. So, I'm amazed at how expensive parking structures are. But it does, that's what drives the cost of parking passes is the actual cost of the parking system and all of its facilities.
President Loya?
I know you mentioned parking paying for itself, and that actually led perfectly to the next question. Can you explain a little bit about university funding, so for example, the PUB?
Yeah.
Very briefly, because I know it's a very complex.
It's complex. It's also different in every state. So less than 25%, maybe about 20% of our entire university budget this year is about $627 million. So we spend about $50 million a month. About 20% of that comes from tuition and fees. We have a significant amount of money from the federal government. Pell Grants is one. We have a significant amount of money from the state. So state support to higher education. So that's the operating budget. In addition to that, there are facilities. For athletic facilities, we are not allowed to use public university funds. So we have to raise money, we get money from the county or money from from athletics itself. So like when we do outside of events at like the Coldplay, we will probably make about $300,000. That's money that we can put back into athletic facilities, as an example. Housing has to pay for itself. So it has to pay for itself over time. We get a very good rate on our debt. So we actually, if we were just going to build an apartment complex, we'd go down to the bank and we'd take out a loan and we'd build it, we'd pay it off over time. Because the state of Texas is so financially solvent, they get a very good, we get all of our debt through the University of Texas system, and they get a much better rate. So if you went downtown and got a mortgage, you would be paying a higher interest rate than we do because the University of Texas negotiates with Wall Street to get us a good rate. So that's good. But the housing and parking have to pay for themselves. The public university fund is something the regions control. And public university funds come off revenues largely from oil and gas. The regions allocate that. So as an example, the new Texas Western Hall is about half coming from the legislative appropriation and about half from the University of Texas Regents Public University Fund. The new advanced manufacturing building was all public university funds. So those come from the regions. And then the final piece is legislative funding. And as I mentioned, they used to call them tuition revenue bonds, but they weren't bonds and it confused everybody. So it's just capital. They call it CCAP, capital improvement projects, basically. So they appropriate money and we build with that. So there's a variety of kinds of funding, but those are the big ones.
I had a quick question. I know when it comes down to students, the biggest things are parking and food insecurity. Do you have any short-term and long-term goals to fix food insecurity on?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Actually, we do. Both the food bank, but also trying to be more creative in raising money and thinking about, and we've had some initial discussions on this, how can we identify students who have some significant need for food and put money on their card so that they have a reduced rate, as an example, at the cafeteria, the pick and shovel. We looked at those kinds of things. All of our donors, we had about 5,500 people who donated to the university last year, did something for the university. I sent out an annual fundraising letter, and that just got approved. It goes out right now at the end of the year. And its focus is on food insecurity and raising money to help with respect to students who are hungry. So the final thing is, I think there's been some discussion of this, and it's really up to the students as they work on the redesign of the East Union. There's been some discussion of, can we put the food pantry a little bit closer to where students naturally are? And can we get it somewhere closer to campus or in a corner of the student union so that there's a little more accessible for students who need it? So yeah, it's a priority.
Senator Alvarado. Is there a possibility to put some sort of garden on campus or near campus to supply the food pantry or even dining services?
No, but if you've got some ideas, let's consider them. My guess is that the amount of food that they probably need a bigger supply than the garden would be able to do. We did just sign an agreement with the regional food bank on getting the truck on campus. They have a kind of, and it was we had to work it through because we actually have a contract that says that the only food service on campus is provided by the contract that we have. So we kind of have to work that through. There is a kind of a food truck that will be allowed on campus, and there's a regional set of relationships to try to keep our food pantry supplied. Not sure garden would work, but open options there if you want to work.
Senator Loya, President Loya.
It is possible. Something we touched a little bit on the question. Could you explain a bit more about Sodexo's relationship with UTEP? I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah, we go out with a request for proposal about every 5 years for food service on campus. And we have one contractor that covers everything, but they get exclusive rights. So unfortunately, we only had one bidder this time too, and they kind of knew it. So we didn't have a lot of room to negotiate. But Sodexo is our contractor for all food service on campus. So even though, Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A, well, actually it's operated by Sodexo, and they have agreements with Chick-fil-A and Panera and all these others to do an operation on our campus.
Senator Rodriguez?
Yes, I just wanted to clarify with the food, question that you have. If you guys ever go to the biological science rooftop with Dr. Kevin Floyd, there actually are starting a garden. And that is with the food and, UTEP Food Equity Student Council. So if you were interested, please let me know. But they are working on trying to do a garden. But it's
I know that he grows stuff up there, but I didn't realize that it was actually supplying food we were looking at.
I don't know if they're supplying it, but I know they are.
I know he grows plants up there, including for some of our gardens, for the Chihuahua Desert Gardens, but I didn't realize that he did edible stuff too.
Senator Boatright?
I was just wondering how does the university feel about tailgating? Because I know it's been a little controversial recently, and other University of Texas schools have it sponsored by the university. So I was just kind of wondering if there's an update about that.
We don't, to my knowledge, I don't think we directly sponsor it. We enable tailgating. We have had a few issues at tailgates, and safety is always an issue. Making sure everybody's okay. Sometimes, particularly when you have big rivalry games, we have to really make sure everybody's okay. And we want to make it, people have a few beers and somebody starts talking smack about someone else, and then you've got to deal with that. So we need to make sure there's enough security on campus. But also, we also, it's interesting, I think it's Nebraska, I can't remember which, but they always want to have the reputation of, we play hard and win on the field, but we are the most welcoming campus to every one of our opponents and their fans. That's not a bad reputation to have. And to be able to have fun and spend time with your friends, so that everybody gets home safe. And I think that's a concern, but we don't sponsor, we enable.
Okay, thank you.
Any of our Excel guests have any questions? Go.
I wanted to ask, I'm a freshman this year, so I wanted to ask if you have any book recommendations?
Book recommendations? I will send the president a list. So I love to read, and I'm terrible about it because my husband makes fun of my to-read pile up on the second floor of the Hoover House. It's probably about this deep and about a huge coffee table. It's terrible. I got another book yesterday. So it's Amazon.com used books the best thing. I will send I'll send a list of some of my favorite books. Or books that for some reason at some moment in time just really they were important to me. I'll send a list. Is it okay?
Yeah. Can I ask also, is there any habits that you have that I guess help you? Maybe with the leadership that you have.
That's also an interesting question. So first of all, time is the most precious thing we have, and I try not to waste it. I work very hard. I get up very early in the morning, but I have a job that I love, and I live a blessed life, so it doesn't feel like work. Right? I would say for you as leaders, one of the most important things you're doing now that will last for your lifetime is building relationships of trust with each other. So, and I didn't really understand that when I was your age, that, I was just about getting the work done. I just do the job, right? And when I look back and I reflect on it, what matters most were the relationships that I built with the people around me while we important work together. And those relationships have lasted a long time. They continue to be important to me to this day. So when I was Secretary of the Air Force, which was the job I had before this, the Chief of Staff and 4-star General, whom I worked with very closely at the time, we started together on the same day. We were sworn in as officers, as cadets together the same day in the same place at the United States Air Force Academy, 40 years before. And we ended up completing our career together as Secretary in Chief. There were even this week, there are people that I have helped connect others to get to a point in life where what you're really doing is helping connect others, right? You get a problem where you're trying to expand your research in cyber. All right, who do I know on that? Well, let's see. The guy who just became head of 16th Air Force, I ran into him last week, but I know, or the new head of the National Security Agency. I've known him for almost 10 years and worked with him. So how do I, as a leader, help connect others to get important things done? And those relationships of trust, if you break that trust, if you as a leader say you're going to do something, or somebody says, how are you going to vote on something, and you give your word that it doesn't matter whether you're a yes or no, but if you tell them you're a yes and you vote no, well, that's a trust issue now. It's not about a vote, it's about trust. And so being worthy of someone else's trust, so you do what you say you're going to do. So you're honest, transparent, that you're helpful, that you're committed to the mission. It's not about you, it's about what we're trying to accomplish. Though being a person like that, and you do that for the long term, you're building yourself as an effective leader no matter what you do. Good question. Not bad for a freshman. Maybe one last question I'll get out of your way. Is that okay?
Hi, my name is Giovanna. I was a part of the UTEP dance team for 3 years.
Yeah.
I just completed my season this past year. But I do have a question, or maybe I'm not sure if you are aware of. If there's any thoughts of like any type of locker room or specific space, or maybe like that cheerleaders and dancers can use as one.
Interesting question. There's not specifically, but I do think that one of the things we want to look at when this gets back to getting the right architects together and envisioning something. We're going to put a dorm where on the north side of the field, where those, so the question becomes, are there things that we could put in there or under there that benefit our athletic teams who want to be near Kim Field anyway? And if so, is there something that we can do with Holiday Hall, which is this beautiful historic building? It hasn't been touched in a long time. So I'll talk out loud with you for a second. I've seen some old buildings restored to new purposes, and every time I think about this or say something, everybody in the facility sighs and shakes their head. You can't do that because the plumbing won't support it or whatever. What if instead of an integrated meal plan and cafeteria on a floor of the new dorm, you put that cafeteria and food service in a Holiday Hall and restore an old building? I've seen cities do that. They put new things in beautiful old spaces, and then create different space or new space for for the track as well as dance that are currently in Holiday Hall. So how can we use things in a different way that preserves our heritage, but also makes a lot of sense? They'll probably tell me you can't do that, but that's when I was walking around earlier this week. And actually, I was over there to see the track, and I was just walking around and looking at this and just saying, boy, this would be different. And it might be really beautiful. But that would mean creating some other opportunities that are probably better for the track team and dance.
Thank you.
All right, I'll be out of here. Thank you.
Yes.
What?
Very briefly, could we take a picture?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Maldonado?
I motion for recess of 10 minutes.
All right, we got a motion for recess for 10 minutes. Senator Berko? All right, we got a motion and a second to open recess for 10 minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against say nay. Any abstention? We need to recess until 7:11.
We'll do it on this side, guys. Take a quick. Okay.
Amigos, there's six bikes here.
Yeah, we need 4 rows. So you guys want to scoot a little back row? Let's go a little more back. And then maybe from like here, if you guys want to go form a 4th row. Yeah.
Don't forget to Where am I calling it?
One more.
He left. Should I go over to you?
No,
or-
you guys are good.
Or take a regular one and then it picks up.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. You know, picks up. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3.
That's all you were doing. And I was like, dude, what are you doing?
Huh? Oh, there is one.
Accelerators, it's okay if you want to leave right now. It's an hour. You can lean on
Any resources?
I'm not sure about that. Okay, I'll give my decision. Are you going to random people? I think you did.
One minute warning. 1 minute warning.
Just put like, get out of my face, I need to call for that. Like, this is my question, and I need to like.
Yeah, like just moving around.
my God, look at this.
Can you extend the recess?
Yeah.
Open discussion as recess has ended. Senator Albright.
I motion to recess for,
Extend recess.
extend recess for 5 minutes.
All right, we got a motion on the floor to extend recess for 5 minutes. Senator Strickland. All right, we got a first and a second to extend recess for 5 minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say nay. Nay. Any abstentions? The ayes carry. Recess is extended till 7:17.
Miguel, like, holding my money so bad. Where'd you go?
I missed trap.
Me too. Like, you folded it weird. Where did he go? He's holding my food.
No, okay for now. Thank you though.
For now? Do you want me to save you some?
Oh, yeah, like 2.
Okay, okay.
Thank you so much.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
You guys can still hear me good? Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, guys, so my resolution is gonna be to support the introduction of a law and corporate studies minor in the College of Business with a 5-point integration program. Whereas introducing the law and corporate studies minor at the College of Business is not just an academic enhancement, it represents a pivotal step towards cultivating a new generation of business professionals who are both savvy and socially responsible. In today's complex corporate landscape, it's essential for business leaders to possess not only the ability to drive profits, but also the legal knowledge and understanding to navigate ethical dilemmas and regulatory changes. The minor will equip future leaders with essential legal insights, enabling them to confidently address issues such as corporate governance, intellectual property rights, and compliance. By blending legal principles with corporate business concepts, we will empower graduates to foresee legal implications and develop proactive strategies that ensure their organizations thrive while holding integrity and accountability. In an increasingly competitive job market, this program will significantly enhance our students' career readiness and marketability. Employers are actively seeking candidates who combine business acumen with legal insights. And this minor will give our graduates a distinctive advantage in fields such as management, finance, and consulting. Furthermore, as innovation becomes a cornerstone of business success, understanding the legal ramifications of emerging technologies and business models is critical. The minor will prepare students to leverage the law for innovation, positioning them as forward-thinking leaders ready to tackle the challenges of the future. By establishing a law and corporate studies minor, we are not merely expanding our curriculum, we are redefining what it means to be a business leader in the 21st century. Our goal is to empower and equip students to take the reins in the world where business acumen means legal literacy. This would also ensure they are not just participants in the market, but pioneers of a more ethical and responsible business future. Ultimately, the law and corporate studies minor will enrich the educational experience at COBA, the College of Business, attract a diverse student body, and enhance our institution's reputation as a leader in business education. Whereas a structured immersion pipeline for pre-law students would provide vital resources, networking opportunities, and practical experience to help students navigate their academic and professional journeys effectively. Successful implementation of such a program would likely increase student engagement, satisfaction, and retention within the college. Be it resolved that the 103rd administration of the Student Government Association and of the University of El Paso, Texas strongly supports the proposal of to introduce a law and corporate studies minor within the College of Business and advocates for the collaboration / establishment of an immersion pipeline designed specifically for pre-law students, facilitating mentorship, internship opportunities, and legal experiences. Further resolved that SGA aids in outreach and encourages collaboration among faculty, administration, and student organizations to ensure the successful implementation of these initiatives.
Awesome. Thank you, Senator.
Do you guys have any questions?
President Lloyd? Yeah, could you elaborate a little bit more on the actual special project itself?
So the special projects basically going to be introducing and establishing the law and corporate studies minor in the College of Business. Once that gets introduced, I want to take it further the special project for marketing, because that's specifically what the department chair is asking out of us.
SML Duran.
So is this gonna go into the next spring, or is it just, you're gonna get it done in the fall?
The reason why I wanted to do it for this Thursday is I'm having a meeting next week with some department chairs from College of Liberal Arts and College of Business. I already did the marketing survey and I'm going to be doing the presentation to them. My department's already for it, they're doing the paperwork to get this done by November. So we're hoping to get it done and introduced in November. That way we can have the minor established in fall 2025.
Thank you.
Point of clarification, President Lloyd.
Round of applause, come on. That's a special project, guys. Oh, that's a good project. Continue stuff like that. You guys are doing good. I think, for example, we've done good at representing, for example, take ROTC and the town halls and the MCAT. Those are good projects that are affecting the students. Stuff like that that are making long-term impacts and they're sustainable. Take like the ROTC supporting, that's sustainable. Take the MCAT, that's something that we've been doing for years. Those are sustainable projects. So as you guys continue on with the projects, keep making them sustainable.
Senator Bertha.
I was going to motion to approve our resolution to support. Go ahead.
Just the title, like I acknowledge resolution, and then the title.
Where's this? The resolution? Okay, so I motion to approve the resolution to support the introduction of a law and corporate studies minor in the College of Business with a pipeline integration program.
We got a motion on the floor to acknowledge and / approve resolution to support the introduction of law and corporate studies minor in the College of Business with a pipeline integration program. Senator Ramirez. We got a motion and a second to approve the resolution to support the introduction of law and corporate studies minor in the College of Business with the pipeline integration program. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against say nay. Any abstentions? We hereby approve the resolution to support the introduction of law and corporate studies minor in the College of Business with a pipeline integration program. Great stuff. Thank you, Senator Perez. Moving on to our next point of business. Under new business, social media process. SM Alderon.
We'll table it.
All right. Senate Secretary, can you table social media presence under new business for next Senate session? All right. Moving on with our next point of business, under executive cabinet reports, President Goya, the floor is yours.
Well, again, let me go ahead and pull up quickly the report if it's not up there. So here's a breakdown of the month of September in terms of expenditures and all that. Good job for being very fiscally smart with our money at the end of the day. So out of the, as I mentioned, the 177,000, once you account for stipends and all that, we're up to about 123. We've been doing pretty good for the month of September. If you just scroll down real quick. We spent $15,000 for the month of September. So if you were to do an average for the remainder of the month, we're projected to around money in October of the next year. So that, like, we'll get a new fiscal year, so we're doing pretty good relatively all around as we look into October. We're starting to accumulate the expenditures. We're a little bit more than halfway through, and currently we have $1,800, $1,900 realistically. The way it works is to elaborate a little bit more into appropriations, because that seems to be the one that I've gotten a lot of questions about and how we go ahead and report it. If you scroll to the sheet that says appropriations. So for all the way to the start, left side. So here, basically the way we document it is when the bill comes in, all the amount of information, what it's for, the amount of students, start and the end date, as we mentioned. When the bill comes in, that's when we go ahead and document it as the month that we went ahead and gave them money. Not the month that the bill comes in, the month that we allocate the funds. That's when we determine as, if we were to look at it, that's when we go ahead and give them money. So then now we scroll a bit over to the right. Well, not a bit, but we see here, we have a very quick calculation that calculates as the month that it closed. So for example, say sort of these bills that haven't been read, they're listed as January because it's all just at the start of the year. But as we look into September, we see the bills for September and early October, and we're starting to see the amounts for September. We have $13,225 that were allocated. And then currently on October, we have $30,705. Of course, you still have to have, for example, the ship bill that we gave today, but those are stuff that Maggie goes ahead and takes care of. That way, talking through for the documentation purpose. And then once the month closes, that's when we go ahead and add that amount into our allocations sheet. And if you want to go into the allocations, here's a brief breakdown of all the expenses that we've done. If you notice, the appropriations is highlighted just because once bill readers come back to their conferences, anything like that. If they didn't use the full amount, or they don't provide receipts or anything like that, they're forfeiting their funding, or they're not using it to the max. So of course that number, it can really only go down. So that's what we keep a highlight card to keep track. But if you see, like, for example, purchases, take outreach recently you guys completed a purchase. That's like documented, all that sort of stuff. But other than that, good job. Good job, everybody. We'll go ahead and dive on to my next point, which I believe is food insecurity, if I'm correct. In terms of food insecurity, we've been working on it on the back end. On the exec side of the more, as you know, President Wilson's pretty much for it as well. I was pretty happy yesterday when I met with her and she showed me the letter that's going to be going out to the donors. There's a big emphasis on the food security and the importance of that with education. So that's pretty good. We also talked about some ideas, bounced back and forth. And so what can we go ahead and continue helping with the food security? Of course, there's always a solution of adding it to the union, but that's in 4 years. So we want to go ahead and find some of the alternatives that can go ahead and impact the student body right now. Her big thing that she loved was the keychains. She didn't want to continue for us to go ahead and start using them and see how we are able to go ahead and change that QR code. That way, every student in the university could have one, and then it's an easy way to go ahead and relay information to the students with all that sort of stuff. But then on top of that, as you noticed, the memorandum of understanding passed last week. So what's going to be happening is that the Pasadena Fighting Group is providing a food truck to UTEP. I believe on a monthly basis, I'm correct that I haven't read through the document, but that's pretty great. And just thank you all for that. We're going to continue working towards that food security as part of the project for what's left of this semester and diving into the next one. Other than that, I'll ask, is there any questions about food insecurity? All right. Yeah.
Are we tackling that on with the TCE? Or no?
Here's what we learned is when you get too many hands in a cookie jar, a lot of things don't get done. So as of right now, we're trying to keep it very small in terms of just like BPSA. The CCCE has been useful in helping us get, what is it called? They have a new employee, I wish I remember her name, but she's the one that's been Brianna PPJP. She's the one that's been like putting the heads together because we realized that we all have the same mission and different ways to go about it. So she's the one that's been helping us put it all together. But I don't want to see that we've been directly tackling with them because there hasn't been any formality as to, okay, we'll go ahead and take it this way.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
Any other questions? Senator Rodriguez.
Just a comment, are you gonna post a survey anywhere for them to take it?
Yes, we're actually going to take it tonight.
Okay.
All of us are going to take it right now once we get to announcements. But yeah, so Dina, you actually want to elaborate on it more once we get to your. So actually, no, we'll do it now. Yeah, we'll do it now.
On the food insecurity, I know I spoke to Senator Rodriguez of the executive. We've ordered a little tent with a QR code, so the tents are in my office, and I believe that FDA will pick them up tomorrow. We're gonna put them in the union and in the library, but if you want some for your area, you know, Senator Rodriguez wants some for her area, we'll set aside some. We also have little flyers with the QR code. Today, we were informed that the survey is being extended. So the little flyers is for you all. That way, you just pass them out to your constituents. They scan the QR code and take them directly to the survey. I'm going to need your help because the survey had the end deadline, which was previous, and not until the November 4th, I believe now. It's been extended. And that's what we're working is. There's going to be aprons coming up as well, so you're going to see them in the main walkway for students, so the QR code will also be listed there. And then there is, we're putting out a bulletin that's going to go out.
And then on top of that, we will be posting it on our Instagram. Any other questions pertaining to this? All right, then, with that, we'll go ahead and work on this bullet point for the fall 2024 report. So I hope that many of you have gone through the Constitution and the bylaws. As part of my responsibilities as president, I have to make a report to the whole student body, faculty, and staff at the end of the fall semester, recapping everything that we've done in terms of, for example, what are the appropriations done in particular, or what have we tackled on these issues, how have we done a good job as SGA, as almost our way as to the student body to be aware of what we're going through and doing. Started working on that. I'm treating it a lot like a shareholder letter. Looking that way. So there's that. We're going to be going ahead and looking into what is it that you're trying to do in your committees case in particular. Executive assistant of AutoZone is going to be helping me to go ahead and get the report from your chairs and coaches and to see what is it you guys are doing, your members, your retention rates, how good you all are doing in comparison to last year's administration and the previous ones in terms of elections, Excel members, all that sort of stuff, and budget setting as well.
Senator,
I have a question that you mentioned that shareholders and everything. How does that look like? Is that like, would it be like student friendly?
Yeah.
Like, could it like, is it, because like the way you're describing it, it almost sounds like a State of the Union address. So I'm thinking like, is there a way where we can like promote it more, you know, maybe have an actual venue where you know, present all that? It's just brainstorming ideas.
That's definitely an option. I will say though, in my opinion, that the report will be more of a formal document. It won't be a presentation, but it can definitely be converted into somebody who does a presentation. Recently, I learned that with Adobe Express, you can actually add automatic captions to everything. So I definitely do plan to make like a real elaborate for the State of the Union. I know I sent you specifically something that UTRGP has been doing. There's going to go forward to me a few weeks ago, and basically the State of the Union as to what their SGA is doing throughout the semester. So yeah, definitely. Oh, if there's anything else, I'll do one time.
Thank you, President Loya. Moving on to the next point of business, under executive cabinet reports, Vice President of General Affairs. Today's quote of the week is, tools are artifacts of human ingenuity. Collecting them is not just about owning pieces of metal or wood, but about gathering stories, techniques, and the legacy of craftsmen. Each tool you collect influences your work, and through your work, you influence others. And so this quote is inspired by Dr. Wilson. She has a very famous story about her dad collecting tools. This is more than just physical tools, but intellectual tools as well. So it's great to gather those tools to help you in your life. But moving on to the next point of business, under executive cabinet reports, advisories to come in for today.
No, I have the housing security. The included security.
Thank you, Dean Aguilar. Moving on to our next point of business, under college reports, College of Health Sciences, Senator Duran, floor is yours.
Okay, so I met with the dean a couple times, and I told her that I'm a senior, and that we'll go through a transitioning period. So over the next 2 weeks, I don't know, I think there's 2 people that are in the College of Health Science. So if you want to be like the next one, we're going to have some sort of like election in-house, and then you'll start going to the dean meeting with me, if that makes sense. So that's what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. So we can start going with the dean and then hand off all our projects that I'm working on. Continue. If there's any questions, like this is the time. If not, I yield my time.
Just part of clarification, since SML Duran will be graduating this December, if you belong to the College of Health Sciences, like you mentioned, you start talking to him. We will be accepting nominations soon, and so it'd be good for you to talk to him and start getting more familiar. Like you mentioned, going with the dean, he'll introduce you to the dean of Health Sciences. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one of business under college reports, College of Liberal Arts, Senator Borrego.
I motion to table.
All right, we got a motion in the floor to table the College of Liberal Arts report. Senator Boatright.
A second.
All right, we got a first and a second to table the college report for the College of Liberal Arts. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those against say nay. Any abstentions? All right. The report for the College of Liberal Arts is tabled for next week. Moving on to our next point of business. Under standing committee chair reports, Excel, Senator Alvarado, the floor is yours.
Is there any Excel here right now? Oh, there you go. Thank you. I was going to ask to, clap. So, we had our mentor day this past workshop. So another round of applause for everybody who was able to go. The next workshop is going to be a guest speaker, so we're still working on that. But, everyone's always welcome to attend. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much the updates. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Alvarado. Moving on to our next point of business, your standing committee chair reports, outreach. Senator Borrego, the floor is yours.
So we were able to finally, submit the orders, and they're gonna come in soon. And then we're gonna start, tabling bi-weekly. Our next tabling event will be the 28th. So if anyone's available to table the 28th from 12 PM to 2, please let me know. We're gonna be painting, pumpkins.
Oh, I saw.
SML, do you have a question?
What did you guys order?
A lot of shirts, we ordered special items for for gifts, for giveaways. And then stickers, through Amazon stickers, like stress balls, just things that you can give away in tabling.
Okay, the giant board games, like games now?
Yeah.
Giant Jenga, giant tic-tac-toe.
To make it more interactive.
Thank you. That answer your question, SML? Yeah. Back to you, Senator Borrego.
I yield my time.
Thank you. Moving on to our next point of business, under ad hoc committee chair reports, sorry, Senator, Burkholm, sorry. Senator Burkholm, the floor is yours.
As you know, Sark's been super busy, getting us all LAs and everything, and, we will only have, 4 unassigned, come next week, hopefully, if everybody shows up. So, this is your opportunity to mentor somebody, to hopefully maybe fill your, position later. And yeah, I think we're doing great, keep doing great. President Loya has sent out a thing, if your LA isn't present today, make sure that they, respond to his email and his survey, so we can actually get a legislative assistant committee going, and they can kind of talk about how well or bad their senator is doing, keeping them engaged. Thank you.
Thanks, Senator Burkholm. Moving on to our next point of business, under special projects. First reading, project period, SML Duran and Senator Ramirez. You want to come to the front, Senator?
Yeah, my God. All right. So, are you guys all familiar with the project period? No? Maybe?
Yes.
No? Okay, so it's the project that we provide feminine products in the restrooms, and we do it through welfare. And we ran out, yeah, it's time to buy more. So it's a continuation. So the title project is Project Period Continuations. Whereas the Project Period is a special project created to address period poverty in our community by providing free period products to students at the University of Texas El Paso. Period poverty is defined as a lack of access to menstrual products, hygiene facilities, waste management, and education that affects menstruating people globally, causing physical, mental, and emotional challenges. A study done by Biomed involving college-age individuals who menstruate reported that 14.2% had experienced period poverty this past year, a number that only increases in underserved communities. This project will provide menstrual products to the students who may need them when they might not have direct access to them. Whereas the predecessor Project Period, originally authored by Senator Cutts, provided over 1,200 menstruating products during the spring of 2022 semester to students who menstruate across campus. With great success of this project, students asked for this project to be revamped and expanded upon. From fall 2022 to spring 2024, the Project Period has expanded to more than 22 buildings and collaborated with UTEP departments providing over 9,000 products. Whereas the Student Government Association would appropriate funds to purchase menstrual products for high-traffic buildings, including facilities such as the Student Union Building, Library, and Undergraduate Learning Center. The flyers are placed in bathrooms to inform students that these projects are provided by the SGA. Whereas due to the high volume of student awareness of this project with the addition of new buildings, there's a limited supply of period projects available. For this reason, we decided to make the continuation and to partner up with the fall 2024, spring 2025 welfare committee to make a weekly restocking. Taking part in the meeting, time to restock the restrooms. With the period projects available, SGA will distribute them to the following buildings. With the period projects available, SGA will distribute it to all the buildings. These are all the buildings that we actually restock, either weekly, bi-weekly. And then this will cover a total of 36 restrooms across campus. The amount to be purchased would be 8,900 period products to be distributed around campus, providing both pads and tampons. Students will be able to contact SGA if the location needs to refill said products until supplies last. Be it enacted that the Student Government Association would appropriate $2,027 to fund project period continuation to address the necessity of period products and find ways to combat period poverty at the University of Texas in El Paso by providing aid to students who have periods. This is the itemization. Take a long look at it. We are spending a lot of money on it. If there's questions, this is the time to ask questions.
Senator Alvarado.
Is this a welfare budget or a special project?
This is going to be a special project budget. Okay. So everybody look at it. If this is going out of the money.
Senator Boatright.
How long will this last you?
We're hoping that this lasts us well into spring. So it'll be renewed next year. So that's what we're hoping. That's the goal.
Senator Perez.
I think it's great that you guys are continuing it. My only question is, have you guys considered getting period products that are healthier?
In what sense? I mean, I understand that. I just know that healthier sometimes means more expensive. And we want to make sure that they have access to products. I know that it's difficult, especially nowadays with everything, chemicals, everything. We looked into it, but at times, I mean, if we want as many products that we want, it wouldn't be feasible with our budget that we have at least. That was the issue we encountered.
Senator Rodriguez.
2 questions. One, did you look at the inventory before you make this order? And 2, did you guys compare with other like Amazon, Target, Walmart, anyone?
So we didn't really look at I guess that was a good thing. But this was almost done pretty fast because the welfare committee asked us to do it. So we didn't really get a chance to look at the inventory. This was actually supposed to be read last week, so we could purchase it this week. So we could change a couple things. We did look at it. Well, that helps. Change some of the things. We focused more on tampons and actual padding this time around. We know that we have a lot of them in the office, but sometimes they weren't given to. They were given to us, some of those. So we want to make sure that we restock them as well. But we're also open to any changes to the amounts and quantities.
And the actual products.
Yeah, and
do you have any ideas?
Senator Burkholm.
You just hit a really great point. Is there people that we can reach out to, maybe get like donations and stuff, instead of actually coming out of our budget? And that leads me to my second question. All right, get my step there. This is great. I love it. Awesome. However, is there a way, and I know you're going to hate me for it, but is there a way that we can maybe like dip into the welfare budget for this a little bit? Because that is a big special project.
So,
and a lot of senators haven't even done special projects yet.
Great point, right? We can definitely look into it. I know the welfare has, I'm not sure the amount we have on the top of my head. Second point was donations. Things with donations, we don't typically take them because of temporary, right? If we're putting these products in the restrooms, it's our name as well, right? I know there's nice people out there, but there's also very bad people, and we don't want to be exposed in that aspect. We have taken donations in the past. I think we would be open to it, especially if they're unopened, untampered. That's an avenue we can explore. This bill, think of it as our period projects we passed last time. It lasted us till now, and we still have a little bit left. So we can check into that with welfare committee.
President Loya?
Yeah.
What about outreach? Why can't we can tap into outreach and tap into an outreach thing too? I mean, if we're talking about options on the table.
Hold on, hey. Just to let you all know, when it comes to tapping into money from other committees, the way it works, which we never try to do, right? Because I give you guys your amount at the start of the year, and that's all you guys are left with the semester. I don't give you more, I don't give you less, right? What ends up happening is, let's say outreach wants to give money. The committee as itself has to vote to allocate a specific amount. From there, that's where I'll go ahead and move them over. To kind of answer a little bit more about that, it's a hefty part of the budget. Last year, if I remember correctly, was a little less than $1,900. This year, I did allocate more to special projects for that particular reason. The bill itself will only be $100 more, but I ended up giving special projects an additional $1,200. So it's still relatively good with comparison to how those special projects go.
We got Senator Alvarado next.
Yeah.
Senator Alvarado.
So Edgar touched the point I was gonna make, traditionally it's been passed through welfare. And then the second reading was always through Senate, and then they get the money from welfare. That's what I was wondering, why is it different now? But, if you have your reasons, you have your reasons.
The reasoning is, we're expanding it. Everybody wants more buildings to be funded.
Yeah.
That costs money. So that's the biggest thing. I mean, we could also go through welfare. We can see if maybe they subsidize some of it. And, it's also an outreach event. We're putting our name out there, so it is an outreach event.
And then, my second point is that you make a valid, complete good argument about tampering, using donations, but I know that, the previous project, Protect and Respect, they got donations for the condoms and they put in the restrooms, but so far everything's been okay. I don't think there's been any complaints. So I think you should be open-minded to that aspect.
Yeah, I think we are. It's just we know we're a little hurted a little bit, especially tampons. That's what we really need, like, as soon as possible. We can, as a welfare, that could be a welfare idea. I'll hand that over to welfare if they want to find someone that collaborates with them.
Thank you. Senator Borrego.
For this project, I remember the old chair Ivan and Ruby tried to look into websites where they offer free career projects, which they do.
Yeah.
Have you looked into that?
We need the products now, guys. We need the products now. It's been can that we kicked down the road, and it is down the road now. I mean, if you guys want me to change it, where we only get tampons, I will do that. That is our need. We need tampons. We have pads, and if you guys want us to go through it, and I will make it that it is just these two. If that's what you guys want, it'll be $1,000. There's a couple routes we can go. We can ask outreach if people want to donate to this project, where it only comes out $1,000. So it's a $2,000 project, I think, right? Maybe we can get outreach. Maybe we can get some of welfare and make it subsidized, right? Or we can just lower the quantity. It's up to you guys. At the end of the day, you guys are senators, and you guys. We're not going to take offense if you guys want us to change the bill. That's why we have the first reading. This is great. We need your guys' input.
We just have to consider that this year a lot of students came and the products are out.
And we have a lot of buildings contact us saying that, hey, where's our products? You know what I mean? We are. Listen.
Senator Perez.
So to follow up on my previous question, in the past, menstrual products were more expensive since it's more in demand. They're a lot cheaper. I would recommend looking into Elf Pure Cotton. Their prices for like around the same amount are a lot cheaper than what you guys have up there. Always is a very toxic brand and it's also overly priced. So I would just go over the company you're buying from and the products because it is overly priced and it is very toxic.
I know that I am male in this, but we did a lot of emails. Like we asked a lot of people, like, what products do you guys want? We like a lot of people again. That actually never came up. That was the first time that came up. We can definitely look into it, but we wanted to make sure that everybody wanted the products they wanted. And we can definitely add it. We can change it. I mean, if you guys suggest that, hey, we don't want size 2, we can get rid of it and we can add your content, you know what I mean? That's the point, like, whatever you guys want to change on this building can change, like, if you guys don't want overnight ads, if you guys don't feel like that's beneficial to the student body, we can get rid of it. So it's like, what do you guys feel like is the appropriate number? That's what is the debate, right?
Senator Mota?
I wanted to ask, Senator, like, do you want like organic products or you want like what are your suggestions so we can get a consideration?
So it would just be like the change in brand, as simple as going to pure cotton. Not only is it not as toxic, it's also a lot cheaper.
Which one?
Or the issue with a lot of the senators is the price. If you guys want to lower the price, offer something that's healthier, that would be a good alternative.
Which one? Which one do you want to remove the?
Always.
Always?
In Tampax.
Okay, these ones? We can work.
L pure cotton. Right now, I'm looking at one that's $100 for the thin liners. 100 thin liners for $8.99. You guys have been priced at $21 each. So just simply as modifying that can lower the budget and you're giving the student body something healthier rather than something toxic for the body.
We will definitely do that. I will send out a polling and I will get all your guys' ideas. Again, we just copy and pasted basically what we did last time, so we can definitely move on to different topics and different things.
Senator Mota, do you yield your time? Senator Bertha?
It's not much for you guys. It's great. Love it. I've never had an experience with toxic products, so that's not even my conversation to have. For you, budget master, if this were to pass today, you would be comfortable with a big special project like this coming out of the special project fund or not? Anything else? So you're saying that this would be okay?
I mean, look, I'll give you all a general rundown. The bill has gone up, I believe, years ago, it was at 1,600, if I remember correctly, and then last year, a little less than 19, and this year, 20, yeah, we're looking at 20. It's always come out of special projects. I know Senator Alvarado mentioned welfare, but when we look at the budget for last year for welfare, they couldn't afford it. So it came out of special projects. I'm perfectly fine. To be fully transparent with you all, realistically speaking, these are the ones that are sustainable. Like this is stuff that like students are going for. I'll give you all my experience with it. I have an administration emailing me maybe once every other week of like, hey, are you guys still doing the project period and all of that? So I'm perfectly fine with it coming out at me. To be fully transparent, guys, we have that money. Like we have.
Can I add something? That's why I put the social media presence. I think we can push a little bit more out. Like say, for instance, if you guys want to collaborate or something, maybe that would be a welfare initiative that we push out on social media, that we start getting donations for that. You know what I mean? It's, if you guys don't send anything to post, we can't post anything, right?
Senator Bertha?
No.
You, all right, President William? All right, Ali Diaz?
I just wanted to give my opinion on the donations. I'm not sure if you guys were saying donations like outside of the school or like donations from like other organizations. But I do want to say I'm also a woman in business, and they're always advertising that we're trying to support Project Period, and we always say like, oh, like donations to them. And the fact that you guys aren't getting donations, I feel like we can't rely on donations. I feel like this should be the primary source for Project Period.
I definitely agree with that.
Moving on to Senator Guerrero.
Okay, so I just have 2 points. I know you mentioned but if it would be able to get lower, like the price, if that were to happen, would you also lower the amount of buildings that you would be supplying to?
So that's the thing, right? Can we scroll to the buildings? There's a lot of new ones, right? Last year we didn't do computer science. Last year we didn't do biology building. We didn't do the career center. We did the UTLC, the rec center. We go there a couple times. Let's see. So these are buildings that are increasing, and you know what I mean. If we cut the budget, then we cut the buildings. But I believe that everybody has the right to menstrual products.
And then moving on to my second point, the political science department.
Right now, they're spending roughly $900 on period products for their own building, and they weren't aware of Project Period. So I talked to Dr. Curry and to Dr. Reed, and they're more than willing to help you guys out with that. So that 900 that's going to their building, I'm sure we can help allocate to this fund.
That would be great. You know, I mean, we can ask for $3,000 of it.
Thank you, Senator Guerrero. Moving on to Senator Solis.
I just had a suggestion. So I know that we need them like now. Why don't we lower the amount of everything that we need just because it's an emergency 3 and seek for donations or like resources. I'm just looking online right now and there's like donations made to the city of El Paso.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I'm gonna keep saying this. I think if we're gonna do donations, it has to go through welfare. We can cut the bill in half. If you guys want me to cut the bill in half, we can cut the bill in half. And we would focus on tampons, and then we would focus on the cotton ones. That's what we can do, and cut this thing in half. Okay. You see this? We're gonna cut this, keep this. We can cut the overnight ones. You guys want us to cut this? We can cut that. And we'll focus on the cotton if you guys want. We can get this to $1,000 if you want, but we're gonna focus on pads, and then we'll probably do the regular clothes.
We can definitely conduct a survey and then listen what do you think about it and then change it accordingly.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the whole point of the first reading.
Yeah, like Senator Ramirez said, we will send a survey out and we will ask you guys probably 3 questions. How much do you want the bill to be? What do you guys want on the bill? And any suggestions? But if you guys don't answer, we are gonna go through this. Or, you know what I mean? You guys need to answer. Like, there's a lot of times we send out stuff and we send out answer. So we will focus on tampons for sure. And if it comes down to it, we will just allocate that much money for the tampons. But I think welfare, that is the welfare thing that we can start. That's a great idea. I think a lot of you guys are talking about donations. We have to go through welfare for that.
Senator Fulbright.
Yeah, so just on the donations, I mean, this is gonna be a project that's always essential. So I guess I don't really see the point in waiting for the donations. I'm fine, I support a bill this big because it's gonna be something where maybe we run out of donations eventually. And we've kicked this down the can, like you said. So why not, when we have the money, just pay for it and we know we're gonna need it eventually. And then go through welfare and get the donations started.
We can do that. Like, it's up to you guys. We want to know where you guys are. We have appropriated a lot more money for a lot of other reasons that questionable, right?
Senator Burkholm.
You said we can motion to do anything anytime, right?
If the Senate supports you.
Would you guys be comfortable passing this right now? Or do you want to look into it?
I would be fine. It's up to you guys. But we could look at, like, say for instance, we could.
If you want to.
Wait, I have a question. Wait, I think the best route, we will take into consideration the always. We will switch those out. We will look into it. I think that would be the biggest one. We'll switch into it, but I do appreciate that. We do need them, but we will look into the always products. Always, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of them. We'll look into that. We're gonna send you guys a survey. Please answer the survey. We want your guys' opinions. Most of the Senate are females. We need you guys, your voice heard for projects like this, please. We'll even send it to the LAs. If you guys want to answer it, I'll send it to Mr. Burkholm. We'll send it to all the LAs.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah, we'll put it in the chat. So.
Senator Perez, Senator Rodriguez.
Well, first we can look at the inventory that we already have, because we completed that today during welfare. Another thing too is, what are you going to complete the survey? And or do you need help?
Yeah, we're just gonna just ask you guys. It's gonna be just the senators.
Today, though, I'm asking, are you gonna do that today? Do you need it by the end of the week?
We're gonna send it out to you guys like today. If you guys can respond before next Senate, because it will be the next Senate.
Any other questions from the Senate? What's your last name?
Diana?
Deanna?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ali, Deanna.
I think this is this is a great project, and I'm not asking, my question is not towards the project itself, it's more about going into afterwards. And especially when you go to outreach, I think you can support 2 points in one. When you talk about student engagement and the organizations, there is a lot of students that are not aware of the organizations. And I think you putting SSGA, your name out there and getting these type of projects done, and if you can get the support of organizations doing a social service, because I know the social service, it's especially me being an organization as well and being part of the directive board, I do a lot of projects with social services, and some of them are simply not as helpful as other projects can be. And this is to help the student body. You have the outreach committee helping out, and you have the organizations putting out their name with SGA, providing help to the student body. So I just wanted to ask how difficult or if it comes to another special project afterwards this, or how is it going to work to just try to get help from the student organizations?
I think that's a very feasible idea. I think we can get it done. It's all relying on the welfare committee and outreach committee collaborating. I think everybody has certain agendas, and I think if we all can get on the same agenda, we will be able to move mountains. But I think that's a great point. I think if we can get it in collaboration with welfare and outreach, and then they push it to organizations that want to maybe donate, then the stockpile increases immensely. Then maybe we don't have to spend $2,000, but we're spending $500 next month.
Any other questions from the Senate or legislative assistants? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alduran and Senator Ramirez. Moving on to our next point of business. Special project, second reading, promote sexual health and safety. Senator Gutierrez.
I motion to table, Eduardo, can you please put that in the? I motion to table the second reading for sexual health and safety.
We got a motion on the floor to table for next week, the second reading of promote sexual health and safety. Senator Zuniga.
I second.
We got a motion and a second to table the second reading, promote sexual health and safety. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against say nay. Any abstentions? Second reading, promote sexual health and safety has been tabled for next week. Moving on to our next point of business, under announcements, UT student regent visit. President Loya, the floor is yours.
All right, guys, thank you all for dressing up today. I hope you all liked it. Get ready to dress up next week as well. The UT student regent will be coming, which is another very good person to come to Senate. Anthony will be coming down to El Paso, I believe Thursday morning. Well, he's gonna have lunch with some of you guys, some of that sort of stuff that I sent out to the group, a while ago. We'll go ahead and contact you all that email invitation, location, any sort of that stuff that needs to go ahead and get taken care of. From there, later on in the day, he will be visiting UTEP Executive Cabinet, so the Vice Provost, Directors, VPs, President Wilson, for me to discuss UTEP as a whole. From there, he will come with me, and we're going to have an SGA meeting with the execs, co-chairs, chairs, Attorney General, all that good stuff. And then from there, we're going to go ahead. He's going to go to the Terry banquet. From the Terry banquet, then he's going to come back over to Senate. So he's going to be joining us at Senate at 6:30. So just a heads up, so make sure to come well dressed. He has a wider understanding of the university, of the state of Texas as a whole in terms of what the regions do and all that sort of stuff. So make sure y'all do your research if you want to go ahead and ask questions. Other than that, going off the food security, if I can continue my announcements, going off the food security survey, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you all in the group because I see that you all have your computers wide open. So I know that you guys aren't probably paying that much attention, so I'll go ahead and share it in the meantime. You guys go ahead and open that up. But as we continue with that, I know we have been, we finally updated the website actually, Eduardo. You can go ahead and open the SGA website. That was. Yeah, that was what I spent my whole day today doing. Working on the SGA website, accidentally took it offline, so that is to bring it back. So if we go to the branches, I think that's the most important part that you guys probably care about. We go to the legislative side, that way you all see. So now all of you guys are in there. So that's what we want to go ahead and continue getting those professional photos. If you notice, Luis has a picture, and then on all of those. We go ahead and continue to send out large. We're going to get some better pictures for you all. We go down. So for the people who are standing up, please go ahead and get those professional portraits, because it will be having them, not tomorrow actually, it'll be next Friday from 9 to 4 p.m. There'll be a sign up. If you need to, you're going to come and talk to me after Senate. So we can go ahead and send you that link over. That way you guys can go ahead and schedule a photo shoot. That way you guys can come out and follow that formality. Other than that, hopefully throughout this next weekend of mine, academics aren't that hard. We'll continue updating other parts of the website. With that, anything else to do announcements that any of you? I think we're all good. The survey. I haven't sent my apologies. Okay, let me go ahead and send it to you. Shout out of the week. I'll give the shout out of the week today to Senator Burkhardt. Good job on recruiting these LAs. Diego, good job with the questions, the comments, all that. Keep it up, sorry. Round of applause. Link was sent, that way you all can be filling it out while we go ahead and continue with the announcements. And go ahead and share with other people. I know the responses, Dr. Oh my God, I'm so sorry if you're not getting. I like lose on. How many responses are we getting?
So this is where we need your help, because there's like a free survey that actually going to be in this drawing for $40. Students are completing that, but they're not completing the survey. So we have 1,000 of those, but only 500 completed, a little over 500.
Last year, if I'm correct, we got 2,000 responses around there, so we're really 25% of the way, guys. So the deadline's been extended, so now it's a lot easier for us to go ahead. What we do in our marketing efforts to go ahead and do so, to push it out. Thank you all for filling it out. With that, thank you for my time.
Thank you, President Loya. One announcement from my end is just the SGA stalls. If you're graduating this December, make sure you speak with me. If you do so by this next week, you will not get a stall. Senator Felipe.
Yes, I have two announcements. First, the Hope Fair is going to be October 23, which is next week, next Wednesday. And basically, it's free services at the County Food Center. Basically, everyone in the College of Health and Science is going to go advocate and provide services. I would recommend if you guys go, or if you need more information, please reach out to me. And then the second shout out is to our EPI, his new opportunity that you're gonna get. Big hands. You wanna talk about it more? My bad. For sure.
I just got an internship with Tian.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Senator Lucas. Any other announcements, Senator Bergholm?
Hey, I just want to give another shout out. Shout out to Senator Perez. Her resolution is what we should all be striving for. That supersedes our time here at SGA. Like, that is going to be something that is going to be in the records if approved or whatever. I don't know the process. But like, that is what we shall be aiming for. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator Bergholm. Senator Borrego.
Just to quickly, like, remind you guys, if you can see a goal, like, please contact me.
Thank you, Senator Borrego. Any other announcements from the Senate? Senator Bergholm.
Was there somebody else?
Oh, we go. Senator Bergholm.
I motion to adjourn by Dennis Kent, but I retracted.
Motion retracted. Esteban Alvarado.
I sent you guys the survey for the project period. You guys can send it.
Take care of the housing one first.
Oh, I have 3 questions.
That's executive.
Senator Berthold,
I motion to adjourn by unanimous consent.
we have a motion to adjourn by unanimous consent. Any objections? All right, if hereby adjourn this meeting at 8:14.
I could close the line.
The money.